Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. Kim is at last humming clearly about her previous tutor and maker. After quite a while of keeping it on mail low, it seems as though Kim is uncovering all the soil she professes to have seen in regards to Diddy's contorted treatment of ladies. Let me let you know, it's not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. As per Kim, Diddy is essentially a sexual stalker who exploits weak ladies, attempting to make it in the huge, relentless music industry. Lil' Kim purportedly said she saw this sickening conduct go down endlessly time again just right in front of her. However, might you at any point accept the boldness of Diddy utilizing his power and impact to implore on female craftsmen and representatives for their own debilitated longings? It's absolutely appalling, yet standing by it deteriorates you all in light of the fact that Kim didn't stop at making general claims. No. She carefully described one specific heroic occurrence she professes to have seen firsthand. I couldn't say whether you all are prepared for this. However, it's going to get genuine quick. Supposedly, there was this unfortunate young lady, simply an artist, attempting to truly establish herself when Diddy began hitting on her. And we're not discussing your ordinary being a tease. No, we're discussing all-out inappropriate behavior. Yet get this, when the artist turned down Diddy's gross advances, he just couldn't take the dismissal like a man. No, rather Lil' Kim claims Puffy flew into a flat-out rage. What is happening immediately raised from verbal disturbances to actual dangers and Kim charges that Diddy cornered his unnerved lady behind the stage at one of the shows just released on her. Might you, at any point, envision the apprehension she might have? Felt this strong music big shot were raying her with vast of abuses and calling out to her while undermining that she'd at absolutely no point ever work in industry in the future in the event that she didn't lay down with him. It's the stuff of bad dreams. However, say thanks to God the sovereign honeybee happened to be there and make all the difference. As per Lil' Kim, she says she saw the entire nauseating scene go down, and the artist's face of unadulterated fear is something she will always remember. She was in evident mom bear mode, and Kim wasn't having any of Diddy's oppressive B. She purportedly got straight up right in front of Puffy and threatened to totally ruin him in the event that he did. In these off, well, that is our sovereign honeybee continuously defending the women against misanthropic men. Like Diddy, she's a genuine one for risking her own profession to safeguard that unfortunate lady from her hunter grips. Now, in spite of Diddy's refusals, the conduits open with additional allegations pouring in. It's like everybody has a tale about disagreeable experiences with terrible young men. Head honcho Diddy. As of late, Miss Jones bounced in and uncovered on the pink winners. Diddy took steps to place her in a trunk, and it was discovered on tape during a radio meeting. The mix continued moving as Diddy vented about needing to hurt Miss Jones. Fortunately, Lil' Kim stepped in like a legend, advising Diddy to ease off and let her be. She said, "Let Jonesy be Jonesy. Don't hurt no one. Stop." And a feline something is underlying someone. Each time I needed you exploding my home or my vehicle or any such a thing. Great night. I don't on the grounds that I'd only previously threatened to put me in the storage compartment of a vehicle, and Lil' Kim said, "Let Jonesy be Jonesy. Don't hurt no one. Stop. That's right. You saved me. You're my legend." Yet sadly, this upsetting episode was a long way from simply an irregular isolated occasion. As per Lil' Kim, this sort of detestable, misanthropic way of behaving from Diddy was the standard. She claimed that just essentially his standard working methodology was to deal with ladies like articles that he could pass and take advantage of. Purportedly, Kim claims Puffy has a wiped-out prevalence complex when he believes he's qualified for each female around him, regardless of whether they need him. It's actually the most stupid mentality at any point. However, get this. Diddy's entire group of guardians and company supposedly empowered and concealed his revolting treatment of people for a really long time, all to safeguard his perfect picture and huge rap realm. Sincerely, you all. It's stunning that they allowed their manager to physically pester and scare ladies left and right, hiding it all away from plain view like it never happened, to make sure they could keep their check. I don't have the foggiest idea where the responsibility is. Nevertheless, I surmise that, as per Kim, she pulled Diddy to the side a larger number of times than she can count, beseeching him to start acting responsibly before this uncontrolled sexism demolished all that he constructed. Yet the fella's arrogant head was such a long way up his own, yet not a great explanation could enter. It's reasonable Diddy had total negligence and discourtesy for any lady who represented a danger to his own power and achievement in light of the fact that on top of the shocking treatment of the female representatives and craftsman Lil Kim claims Diddy attempted to disrupt her profession too out of unadulterated desire. That is correct. Lil Kim began getting increasingly big greater than Diddy had some control over. He supposedly did all that could be within reach to block her from worthwhile open doors and majors collabs that would impel her to significantly more noteworthy levels than him. It was like he just couldn't stand the possibility of a lady turning out to be excessively strong and effective without composing his loops. He needed to be the preeminent, unchallenged lord of terrible kid record. Every case now, one of the most stunning models Kim gave of Diddy's damage was the time she guarantees she got the opportunity to be highlighted on a Michael Jackson collection. Might you at any point envy? Saying that MJ and Lil Kim, the mother-loving lord of pop himself, supposedly wand Lil Kim on one of his tracks. And that is the sort of profession creating open door most rappers could merely fantasize about yet. Not assuming you're in Diddy's shadow. Rodney Jerkins, he was dealing with Michael Jackson's collections, and he resembled it was playing Sovereign from Michael Jackson. And he resembled Man I Love the delightful way she raps behind the beat. And it's so hot, I resembled, he said that he was like, no doubt. I'm telling you that to say we're attempting to get you on the collection. I resembled what I figure I could my leg is as yet attempting to recuperate cause I dropped out the seat. Good gracious, no doubt did you I spy per Kim she was well headed to recording sections at AMJ collection when Puffy in some way killed the arrangement despite her good faith. She affirmed her own director at the time was Diddy, and he just wouldn't permit this colossal move toward happen now. You all realize that Kim was hot when she figured out she said she begged Diddy to let the Michael collab push through, yet his frivolity and desire denied her of that possibly memorable component. Puffy was my chief at that point, and when we carried it to Puppy was like Puffy can be a tad cuz I like his younger sibling. I couldn't say whether him and Rodney were going through something at that point. However it simply never worked out since I was a youngster. So I wasn't hand on my business. However, I saw Rodney and he going, you what's up? I've been calling and you would rather not be on Michael Jackson. Now I like, are you insane? Obviously I doubt you yet. I didn't have the foggiest idea what was happening in the background, so that was a botched open the door not. Because of my anything I did yet just you realize it was beyond my control. And I ridiculously, super, extremely, outrageously simply need to head off to someplace and kick the bucket. Could you? At any point, even envision the degree of triviality and detesting expected to hinder somebody you're assumed to coach from working with the Michael Jackson. Definitely it's given Dr. Evil, without a doubt. Yet however much the NJ circumstance stings, it's simply a hint of something larger when it came to the personal unrest and double-crossing Kim claims he put her throughout the long term. And there's additional Diddy's treacheries that cut a lot further. Kim charges that he took things to an unheard of degree of discourtesy when she was secured by the Brooklyn rapper Diddy began working intimately with, as a matter of fact, her own previous opponent Nicki Minaj. That is the reason I said in my Baltimore show, Puppy, you ought to be embarrassed about out yourself on the grounds that by the day's end, in the event that you going to rock with anyone that hard, you ought to shake with Diddy. No doubt given Snake, except for it was like Diddy was prepping Nicki to be Kim's substitution from the leap, involving her as a weapon to attempt to decrease everything the first sovereign honeybee had worked before her. Falling Kim's eyes, this was a definitive manipulating from her alleged coach. Furthermore, her most reduced second, yet he effectively began attempting to eclipse her well-deserved inheritance too. Now envision how wound it probably felt for Lil Kim. She put her strict hard work into Mac him at for Kid the famous mark it turned out to be, yet when she really wanted Diddy the most, he kicked her to the check for the following youthful hanging thing and meandering his eye, and Kim guaranteed she pee her entire being into making terrible Kid a name that could be placed on the guide just for Diddy to reimburse all that unwaveringness and difficult work by improperly supplanting her with Nicki. It's like a father supplanting his firstborn kid with a new child, simply cold, and you would. Do you never make another large cam that won't occur? It's never going to happen. It was like you were messing with me. Diddy kept on digging himself into a more profound opening, and he proceeded to talk into a meeting about what was going on multiple times more awful. Diddy was asked straight up to address Lil Kim's shock over him combining efforts with her previous foe N Minaj. And you think on the grounds that the strain was there? He chose his words cautiously and attempted to reconcile, right? Well, you're completely misguided as opposed to bringing responsibility. Diddy twofold down with a lack of respect, and he was essentially tossing fuel on the fire among him and Kim. What is up with Kimberly Jones right now? She's distraught at the world and frantic at you. What do you need to say to address this? Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.